Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take the research, cut through all the noise, and really give you the absolute core knowledge you need to be sharper, stronger, and, well, better informed.
Going to be diving in.
Today, we are taking on something really fundamental, I think. One of the most basic biological strategies we have available. How can what's actually on your plate become your body's sort of secret weapon?
Right, for living longer, feeling stronger.
And staying sharper mentally, too. This isn't about the latest fad diet you see everywhere. No, this is about biological investment, something designed to last a lifetime.
Makes sense.
So we're framing this deep dive as, let's call it, your definitive shortcut to understanding the why behind certain food choices.
Okay.
We've synthesized a really heavy stack of sources detailing 10 specific foods. And these aren't exotic, hard-to-find ingredients, mostly. They're accessible powerhouses, foods that have proven measurable benefits for improving lifelong health, really across the board.
That's absolutely right. Our focus is intensely practical today, but we are going to drill down a bit, maybe even to the molecular level sometimes. Okay. We want to move past just that general label of superfood, and dive deep into the precise mechanisms. Like, why blueberries specifically?
What makes them special?
Exactly. Yeah. Or what does something like beta-glucan actually do in your body?
Yeah.
Why does that percentage number on dark chocolate matter so much?
Right, those details are key.
So our core mission for you, the listener, is to understand not just what these foods are, but the precise biochemical actions they kick off inside your system. Actions that support superior health from, say, cognitive function all the way to gut resilience.
And the unifying theme we pulled from basically every source, it's actually profoundly simple when you boil it down.
Which is?
The right foods don't just, occupy stomach space. They're active systemic agents. They're actually doing things.
Right. They're not passive.
They fight aging, they help regulate vital processes, and they significantly improve your ability to function day to day. They're kind of medicinal and structural building blocks all rolled into one.
Exactly. Couldn't have put it better. And since the goal here is really optimization, let's start with the areas that probably yield the biggest dividends in quality of life: the heart and the mind.
Okay, let's unpack this first group then. We've got a quartet focusing on foods that act as like a cognitive shield and offer really crucial cardiovascular protection.
Sounds good.
And we are starting small, but definitely mighty, with the blueberry.
Ah, yes, the blueberry.
Blueberries often get celebrated as nature's candy, don't they? They're delicious, super versatile, easy to add to almost anything.
Very true.
But when we talk about them as a genuine brain booster, what's the precise biological mechanism? What elevates them above, say, other fruits?
Well, what's really fascinating here is the sheer concentration of these powerful compounds called anthocyanins.
Anthocyanins, okay.
Yeah, those are the pigments actually responsible for that deep blue color.
Yeah.
And they are a specific, very potent type of antioxidant.
Antioxidant, we hear that word a lot. What does it mean in this context for the brain?
Okay, so to understand their mechanism, we kind of have to talk about oxidative stress first.
Right.
Think of oxidative stress as like rust developing on the machinery of your brain cells. It's a natural byproduct of just using energy, consuming energy.
Okay, like cellular exhaust.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And it accumulates over time, leading to cellular damage and eventually things like cognitive decline. Blueberries, or rather the anthocyanins in them, act as tiny, potent scavengers. They basically neutralize these harmful molecules, these free radicals. So they provide direct defense against that rust.
Wow. So they're literally protecting the brain's hardware, the actual cells.
That's a good way to put it.
So how does that protection translate into those measurable benefits the sources mentioned, like improved memory? Is it a direct line?
It seems to translate in a couple of ways. First, by reducing chronic inflammation in the brain. Inflammation can really interfere with how neurons signal to each other.
Okay, so less static on the line.
Exactly. And second, these anthocyanins also appear to support better blood flow to the brain, which means optimizing the delivery of oxygen and, glucose, which is brain fuel.
Right.
So when blood flow is better and inflammation is lower, cognitive functions, especially things like memory retrieval and learning, they just become measurably more efficient. So it's kind of foundational protection delivered in a pretty sweet package, right? And the sources we looked at repeatedly link regular consumption to better neurological longevity, keeping your brain younger, essentially.
That connection, that critical link between optimal brain function and cardiovascular health leads us perfectly to our next food. Salmon.
Salmon.
Specifically, the source material really focuses on its role as the ultimate heart protector. What's the science there?
Well, salmon is famous primarily for one reason. It's extremely high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids.
Omega-3s, again, something we hear a lot about.
Yes, but we need to be a bit specific about the types. We're mainly talking about EPA, which is eicosapentaenoic acid.
Okay, EPA.
DHA, docosahexaenoic acid.
EPA and DHA, got it.
So why are these particular fats, these essential fats, so prized? Well, partly because the human body can't really manufacture them very efficiently on its own. We need to get them from diet.
Right, they're essential.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And their benefits are truly multifaceted. EPA seems to be the powerhouse for lowering inflammation. Think of it as a systemic anti-inflammatory agent. It helps regulate the body's immune response and significantly reduce risk factors for chronic diseases linked to inflammation.
Okay, so EPA tackles inflammation body-wide. What about DHA?
DHA, on the other hand, is primarily structural. It's actually a major component of the gray matter of your brain and the retina of your eye. Really fundamental building block.
Wow. So if EPA is kind of the firefighter putting out inflammation, DHA is more like the builder, maintaining the actual brain structure.
Precisely. That's a great analogy. And when you consume them consistently, these omega-3s are just essential. They support superior brain function throughout life. And critically, for the heart protector part, they help stabilize heart rhythm and keep arteries flexible and strong. The research is pretty compelling here.
How so?
Omega-3 intake consistently supports healthier triglyceride levels and helps manage blood pressure, both key factors for cardiovascular health.
Okay, and here's a really practical, actionable metric that came up in the sources. We aren't just talking vague suggestions like eat more fish.
Right.
The research indicated that eating salmon or maybe another oily fish like mackerel or sardines at least twice a week could cut down your risk of major cardiovascular problems pretty significantly.
Yes, that's a measurable, really powerful intervention that should stick with you, the listener. We're talking about a very specific dose-response recommendation here.
2 servings a week.
2 servings a week seems to be enough, based on the data, to create a material difference in your cardiovascular profile over time. It really highlights how targeted dietary choices can act as powerful preventative medicine. It's almost like prescription nutrition in a way.
That's a great term. Okay, moving from the deep sea, let's transition to the creamy delight of the avocado.
Yes. Avocado toast territory.
Exactly. For years, fat was sort of villainized in nutrition, wasn't it? But the avocado really helped shift that paradigm. It became the symbol of strategic, healthy fat consumption.
It really did. The avocado is just a magnificent example of how certain fats are not just okay, but crucial for health. If core benefit comes from its high concentration of monounsaturated fat.
It's monounsaturated, okay.
Particularly one called oleic acid. These fats are essential for improving heart health because they specifically help reduce LDL, or bad cholesterol, without negatively impacting your HDL, the good cholesterol. So it's a smart swap.
That's the key distinction.
But there's a truly unique benefit highlighted in the sources, which I think often gets overlooked. It relates to nutrient synergy.
Synergy? How so?
Avocados dramatically help you absorb certain nutrients from other foods you eat alongside them.
Wait, hang on. So putting avocado slices on my spinach salad actually makes the spinach better for me. Is that because of the fat content?
Yes, exactly because of the fat content. You've nailed it. Many vital compounds, specifically vitamins A, D, E, and K, are what we call fat-soluble.
Meaning they need fat to be absorbed.
Precisely. They require fat to be transported across the intestinal wall and actually get into your bloodstream where they can do their work. Think of it this way. These fat-soluble vitamins need a taxi, right?
Okay.
And the monounsaturated fat in the avocado is the essential cab driver, getting them where they need to go in your system. So by pairing avocado with otherwise lean, vegetable-rich meals like that spinach salad, or maybe some carrots or sweet potatoes, you're essentially unlocking the full nutritional potential of that plate.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and you're helping fight common nutrient deficiencies that can sometimes be associated with very low-fat diets. Plus, that healthy fat profile also provides structural support for brain and nerve function, similar to the DHA we talked about in salmon.
That is a fantastic detail. It's about intelligent food pairing, not just individual foods. Okay, now for maybe the most delightful inclusion on this list.
I think I know where you're going.
The sweet surprise. Dark chocolate. Yes, chocolate actually made the cut, and this is important. only with a very specific critical caveat.
This is absolutely where strategy and, frankly, reading the label become paramount. You can't just grab any old chocolate bar off the shelf.
Right. Milk chocolate doesn't count here.
Definitely not. The research is crystal clear that to access the biological benefits we're talking about, the product must have at least 70% cocoa.
70%, that's quite high.
It is.
Yeah.
And that percentage seems to be the threshold required for the beneficial compounds to be present in sufficient active quantities to actually make a difference.
So why 70%? What specifically happens at that level biologically?
Well, when you hit that 70% mark, or ideally higher, you start accessing concentrated levels of compounds called flavanols.
Flavanols. Okay.
These are powerful antioxidants, somewhat similar in function to what we discussed in blueberries, but they seem to operate with a different specific mechanism, particularly for the cardiovascular system.
How do they work on the heart and blood vessels?
These flavanols stimulate the lining of your arteries. It's called the endothelium to produce something called nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a powerful natural vasodilator. That just means it signals the blood vessels to relax and widen.
Ah.
And when your blood vessels relax, your blood flow improves and your blood pressure tends to gently lower. That's the core mechanism behind its heart health benefits. It helps keep things flexible and flowing.
Makes sense. And what about the mood-boosting component we often hear associated with chocolate? Is that just wishful thinking, or is there science there?
No, there seems to be some science there too. The cocoa content, especially at these higher percentages, is also linked to improving mood. It might be through the release of feel-good neurotransmitters like serotonin, or perhaps other mechanisms involving phenylethylamine, so you get a bit of a cognitive lift potentially alongside the cardiovascular boost.
A double win.
But, and this is the big but, we absolutely must stress the moderation requirement here.
Right, it's not a free-for-all.
Definitely not, because dark chocolate still contains sugar, and it's calorically dense. So the benefits only really accrue when you consume it strategically. Think a single square or maybe 2 high percentage pieces a few times a week.
Okay.
That is how you leverage it as a tool for wellness without undermining your overall energy balance or health goals. It's a treat with benefits, used wisely.
Okay, that wraps up our cognitive and cardiovascular quartet. Really fascinating stuff. Now we pivot to internal defenses.
Right, shoring up the foundations.
Exactly. Focusing on the structures and systems that keep us protected and resilient from the inside out, our bones, our immune system, and that really foundational environment of our gut.
Crucial areas.
And we start with a classic green. Everyone knows the reference, probably, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the original superfood promoter.
And the sources absolutely confirm that spinach is truly a green powerhouse, especially when you look closely at its nutrient profile.
The research definitely validates the power of spinach, but maybe for reasons far more specific than just muscle building like in the cartoon.
Right.
Spinach is really defined by its astounding nutrient density. It's packed. And specifically, its combination of certain vitamins that work synergistically, meaning they work better together.
Like which ones?
Well, we're talking about high levels of vitamins A, C, and K, coupled with important minerals like iron and magnesium.
Okay, that's quite a lineup. How do they help with resilience? Let's start with bones.
Okay, bones first. Vitamins A and C are important for general cellular growth and repair, but vitamin K is absolutely critical for strengthening bones.
How does vitamin K do that?
It acts sort of like a traffic cop for calcium. It helps regulate where calcium goes in the body, ensuring it gets deposited into the bone structure where you need it, rather than accumulating in soft tissues like arteries where you don't want it. Magnesium is also a key player in the actual bone mineralization process itself.
Ah, so it's not just about getting enough calcium, it's about having these cofactors like vitamin K and magnesium to help your body use that calcium effectively.
Precisely. It's about the whole team working together.
Makes sense. And what about its role in immunity and maybe other functions?
Well, vitamins A and C are well-known immunity boosters. They directly support the body's defense mechanisms like white blood cell function and promote healthy cell turnover.
Okay.
But another, perhaps surprising benefit highlighted in the sources is skin health. Spinach contains powerful antioxidants like carotenoids and flavonoids. Lutein and zeaxanthin are examples that help protect the skin from damage, like UV radiation and other environmental stressors.
So it's protecting you inside and out.
Pretty much. It's a multi-system nutrient delivery mechanism. It addresses skeletal health, immune function, and even dermatological health simultaneously. It's very efficient.
Now here's a practical question. Some people, maybe like me sometimes, don't love the texture of raw spinach in salads all the time.
Sure, that's common.
Do the sources suggest any cooking methods or preparation strategies to maybe maximize nutrient retention or even make things better?
That's a really practical and crucial question, actually. It's a bit of a trade-off, as often happens with cooking.
Okay.
While some nutrients, like vitamin C, are heat-sensitive and can be degraded by cooking,
Right.
lightly cooking spinach, like a quick steam or a light sauté, actually concentrates other nutrients, like vitamin A and iron, partly by reducing the water content, so you get more per cup, in a way.
Interesting.
Furthermore, cooking significantly reduces the levels of oxalic acid, or oxalates.
What does that do?
Oxalates are compounds naturally found in spinach that can actually interfere with the absorption of minerals like calcium and iron. So by cooking it, you reduce the oxalates, which might actually improve the bioavailability or your body's ability to absorb those key minerals.
So cooking isn't necessarily bad for spinach.
Not at all. A quick steam or light sauté might be a really smart way to consume it if a raw salad isn't your favorite. It makes some nutrients more accessible.
That's really good news for my sauté pan. Okay, speaking of internal systems, let's turn to the gut.
A very hot topic in health right now.
Absolutely. It's really been elevated in recent years from just a simple digestive tube to being seen as a foundational system for total health, hasn't it?
Definitely. The understanding has exploded.
And that brings us neatly to yogurt, which the sources position as a key gut architect.
Yes, the research linking gut health directly to overall well-being is just immense now. It seems to impact everything from inflammatory conditions to mood regulation and definitely immunity.
So what's yogurt's power move here?
Its power lies almost entirely in its key component, probiotics.
The good bacteria.
Exactly. The beneficial bacteria, think of them as the helpful tenants living in your internal ecosystem, your gut microbiome.
Okay. And what do these tenants do?
Their primary functions are essentially twofold. First, pretty obviously, they improve digestion. They help balance the gut microbiome, ensuring more efficient nutrient extraction from food and reducing digestive distress like bloating or irregularity.
Right, better plumbing.
Basically, yes. But the second, more systemic function is perhaps even more critical. They actively strengthen the immune system.
Now, I remember hearing somewhere that a huge percentage of our immune function actually resides in the gut. Is that accurate?
It is remarkably accurate. Estimates vary slightly, but somewhere around 70 to 80% of the body's immune cells are housed in what's called the gut-associated lymphoid tissue.
Wow, 70 to 80%.
Yeah, it's huge. So by maintaining a diverse and healthy gut biome through things like probiotic-rich yogurt, you are literally fortifying your body's frontline defense against pathogens. A robust microbiome doesn't just fight invaders locally. It can even help modulate inflammatory responses throughout the entire body. It's like the command center for immunity.
That's incredible. So when we're choosing yogurt at the store, we absolutely must look for labels that specify live and active cultures, correct? Because not all yogurt is created equal in this regard.
Absolutely essential. That's non-negotiable if you want the probiotic benefit. If the yogurt has been heat treated after the fermentation process, which some are for shelf stability, the beneficial bacteria are likely killed off.
Yeah.
So you must look for that live and active cultures seal or similar wording. Furthermore, the sources often emphasize looking for variety. Different probiotic strains, you'll see names like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium on labels, offer slightly different benefits. So diversifying your sources, maybe trying different brands or types of fermented foods, can be an intelligent strategy for more comprehensive gut coverage. A happy gut, as they say, really is foundational to overall systemic health.
Okay, our final item in this resilience section is something truly ancient, but still incredibly relevant: garlic.
Ah, garlic. Flavor powerhouse, and much more.
Exactly. We use it constantly for flavor, but the sources really position it as a powerful, traditional, natural medicine.
Garlic has one of the most compelling and longest histories in documented medical use. It's quite amazing. We have records showing ancient Egyptian, Greek, and Roman civilizations using garlic specifically for medicinal purposes thousands of years ago.
Wow. Thousands of years.
But modern science is now confirming that they were definitely onto something, largely thanks to its powerful sulfur compounds.
Sulfur compounds, like what?
The primary active compound people talk about is called allicin.
Allicin.
Now, here's a fascinating thing. Allicin isn't actually present in whole garlic cloves. It's only formed when fresh garlic is chopped, crushed, or chewed.
Really? Why is that?
Because that physical action breaks down cell walls and allows two precursor compounds, alanine and an enzyme called allinase, to react together. That reaction creates allicin.
Huh. So you have to damage it to activate it?
Essentially, yes. And this allicin possesses potent antibacterial and antiviral properties. It's a natural pathogen fighter. When you consume freshly crushed garlic, you're introducing compounds that could directly combat harmful microorganisms throughout your system.
That is a great piece of practical knowledge. Crush or chop your garlic. Okay, let's also talk about the cardiovascular support mentioned in the sources.
Right. The benefits aren't just defensive. Garlic also shows compelling effects on cardiovascular health. It's known to help lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels.
How does it do that? Is it the allicin again?
It seems to be those same sulfur compounds, including allicin and related metabolites that form from it. They are known to help relax and dilate blood vessels, kind of similar to the nitric oxide mechanism we discussed with dark chocolate's flavanols. This helps improve blood flow and reduces strain on the heart, thus supporting overall heart health.
Okay, now for the inevitable, practical, maybe slightly awkward question. I love the idea of incorporating more garlic for all these amazing benefits.
Okay, I know where this is going.
But let's be realistic. Does the source material offer any advice on consuming enough garlic to get the full therapeutic benefit without, shall we say, clearing a room?
That is the classic challenge with powerful, pungent compounds like allicin, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, the sources understandably focus more on the efficacy, the biological action, rather than the social etiquette side of things.
Fair enough.
But the key seems to be consistency, rather than massive single doses. Some research suggests that lightly cooking the garlic can mitigate some of the strongest odor-causing compounds while still retaining a good portion of the medicinal benefit. Heat does reduce allicin levels somewhat, though.
So cooking might be a compromise.
It could be. However, incorporating raw, freshly crushed garlic into things like salad dressings, dips like guacamole or hummus, or finishing sauces often delivers the strongest dose of active allicin. Sometimes maybe that systemic defense is worth carrying a little mint afterward. The goal really should be daily or near daily inclusion in moderate amounts rather than trying to eat a whole bulb at once.
All right, we've looked at fortifying our internal structures, protecting our cognitive centers, our heart. Now we move on to the very practical application of food, sustained fuel.
Keeping the engine running smoothly all day.
Exactly. This section focuses on foods that help stabilize energy levels, control hunger, and maybe even boost metabolism a bit, helping us avoid that dreaded mid-afternoon energy cliff.
The 3 p.m. slump, yes.
We begin with what many consider the ultimate breakfast champion, oats.
Can't beat a good bowl of oatmeal.
They're super popular because they're easy, they're cheap, they're versatile, but the sources confirm they are a source of fuel that truly lasts all day. And it's thanks to a very specific type of fiber, isn't it?
That's absolutely right. The secret to the sustained energy provided by oats lies almost entirely in a particular type of soluble fiber called beta-glucan.
Beta-glucan.
It's a really powerful functional fiber. And understanding how it works explains exactly why oats are such a fantastic morning staple.
So break it down for us. What does beta-glucan do?
Okay, beta-glucan provides essentially 3 crucial benefits that really define sustained fuel.
Yeah.
Let's start with cholesterol reduction, which we touched on earlier.
Right.
As a soluble fiber, beta-glucan becomes very viscous, basically. It forms a thick gel when it mixes with water in your gut.
Like it thickens up.
Exactly. And this gel physically traps bile acids in the small intestine. Now, bile acids are made partly from cholesterol. By trapping them, the gel prevents these bile acids from being reabsorbed back into the body. They end up getting excreted instead.
So the body loses them.
Right. And this forces your liver to pull more cholesterol out of your bloodstream to make replacement bile acids. The net effect is lower circulating LDL, or bad cholesterol.
Wow. So the gel literally acts like a sponge or a scrubbing brush for cholesterol in the gut. That's a fantastic image.
A pretty accurate analogy. Now, what about the energy component?
Yes, the sustained fuel part.
That viscosity, that gel formation, is also key to energy stability, because this thick gel slows down the overall movement of food through your digestive tract. It fundamentally changes how glucose, or sugar, from the carbohydrates in the oats enters your bloodstream.
How so?
Instead of getting a sudden flood of sugar that causes a big insulin spike, and then the inevitable crash, that classic 10 a.m. slump after a sugary breakfast.
Oh yeah, I know it well.
The glucose from oats is released slowly and steadily over hours.
A trickle instead of a flood.
Exactly. This controlled release keeps your blood sugar much more stable. And the third, closely related benefit is satiety, or feeling full. Providing that sustained fullness for hours is a direct result of that slow digestion process and the physical bulk the fiber provides in your stomach. When your blood sugar is stable and your stomach feels full, you're naturally less likely to reach for impulsive, sugary snacks mid-morning.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, moving from the sustained champion of breakfast to what the sources called the optimized snack, almonds.
A great choice.
Positioned as the ideal food to reach for when that midday energy dip starts to hit. But the key, as always it seems, is in the controlled portion size, just a handful.
Yes, the almond is like a miniature nutritional marvel, really.
Oh, God.
A single handful delivers an essential, really strategic trio of nutrients. Healthy monounsaturated fats like avocado, protein, and fiber like oats.
The trifecta.
Exactly. And the brilliance here is the synergy of those three components working together specifically to manage your blood glucose response.
How do they do that compared to, say, just eating crackers?
Well, if you snack on a simple carbohydrate like crackers, you tend to get that rapid energy spike followed by an inevitable crash, right?
Yep, been there.
A handful of almonds, however, delivers protein and fiber, which physically fill you up and slow down digestion, helping to keep hunger pangs away for longer. But crucially, the healthy fats in the almonds further modulate or smooth out the glycemic response from any carbohydrates consumed. The energy is released slowly and steadily.
So it prevents the blood sugar roller coaster?
Precisely. It helps balance blood sugar and sustain your energy and focus without that up and down effect.
It really sounds like the perfect combination for maintaining equilibrium rather than disrupting it with a quick sugar high. Now, how much is that handful in practical terms? Are we talking 5 almonds or 50?
Good question. The research generally points to about an ounce, which typically works out to roughly 20 to 23 almonds.
Okay, 23, that's manageable.
Yeah. And that quantity is sufficient to deliver significant doses of other goodies too, like vitamin E, another potent antioxidant, and magnesium, good for nerves, muscles, and bones, which also support heart health, all while keeping the overall caloric intake managed, of course. So by supporting heart health and controlling blood sugar with that powerful fat, protein, fiber trifecta, almonds function as both a really practical energy solution between meals and a long-term preventative health measure.
Smart snacking. Okay, and for our final item on the list of 10, we have a beverage that could easily accompany that breakfast of oats or that snack of almonds, green tea.
Green tea, my personal favorite.
The sources called this the ultimate longevity drink, which is quite a claim. It's positioned as far more than just a soothing, warm beverage.
It really is far more. It's a potent bioactive agent, scientifically speaking. Its primary value comes from its incredibly comprehensive antioxidant profile.
More antioxidants.
Yes, but a specific class called catechins are the stars here. And the most famous and well-studied of these is EGCG.
EGCG? Okay, what does that stand for?
Epigallocatechin gallate. Try saying that 3 times fast.
I won't even try. EGCG it is.
So what makes EGCG so special?
Well, EGCG is just a phenomenal molecule. It seems to operate effectively on at least 2 major fronts. First, much like the antioxidants we talked about in blueberries, it offers widespread protection against cellular damage. It fights those harmful free radicals, and intriguingly, some studies suggest it might even inhibit the growth of certain cancer cells. So it's definitely part of that long-term cellular repair and longevity strategy.
Okay, cellular protection. What's the second front? This is the one green tea is really famous for, isn't it? The metabolic boost.
That's right.
How does it achieve that? And does it do it without giving you the jitters you might get from, say, coffee?
Good question. The catechins in green tea, particularly EGCG, are known to slightly increase thermogenesis.
Thermogenesis, meaning heat production.
Essentially, yes. It's the body's rate of burning calories just to produce heat and energy. EGCG seems to achieve this in part by inhibiting an enzyme that normally breaks down norepinephrine. Norepinephrine. That's a hormone involved in alertness and metabolism.
Exactly. It's a hormone and neurotransmitter that signals the body to start mobilizing and burning fat for energy.
Ah, okay.
So by inhibiting the enzyme that degrades norepinephrine, EGCG effectively allows norepinephrine to hang around longer and work more effectively. This acts as a gentle, yet potentially persistent, metabolic accelerator.
Gentle being the key word compared to caffeine spikes.
Generally, yes. While green tea does contain some caffeine, the effect from the catechins is thought to be distinct and smoother. It supports weight management and energy balance, when, of course, combined with a healthy overall diet and regular exercise. It's not a magic bullet on its own.
Understood.
But the implication from the sources is pretty clear. Simply incorporating a cup or two of green tea into your day is a simple, strategic way to support your body's metabolic efficiency and bolster its long-term defense against cellular damage. It truly earns its reputation as longevity drink, or at least a contributor to it. Liquid longevity, perhaps. #text, #outro. Synthesizing the knowledge and actionable steps.
Wow. Okay, we have just covered a massive amount of ground there. We ran through 10 incredibly diverse yet accessible and powerful foods.
We didn't.
From the monounsaturated fats of avocado that literally unlock nutrients in other foods, to the antibacterial punch of allicin you get from crushing garlic, and the really potent metabolic and antioxidant action of EGCG in green tea. It's quite a list. And what really stands out to me is the accessibility of most of these ingredients, right? Blueberries, oats, spinach, salmon, almonds.
Yeah, they're not obscure.
They're everyday foods.
Yeah.
But now, knowing the precise biological mechanisms they engage the why behind them, they really transform into true life-changing tools, potentially.
I think that's the right perspective.
We took what might seem like overwhelming nutritional information, all the conflicting advice out there, and hopefully distilled it down into 10 clear, actionable power-ups for your health, complete with their specific instructions like the 70% cocoa or crushing the garlic.
And that detail, that specificity, leads directly to what I think is the core insight from all this material.
Which is?
That profound transformation, the kind we're talking about for lifelong health, is achieved not through massive, restrictive, and frankly, unsustainable diets.
Right, the ones that never last.
Exactly. But rather, through small, intelligent changes that you can actually sustain over time. Consistency is king. Think about the easily implementable examples we've highlighted just now. Instead of grabbing that sugary vending machine snack when you inevitably crash mid-afternoon,
we've all done it.
You swap it for that strategically engineered handful of almonds. Right there, you've just stabilized your blood sugar, you've introduced heart-healthy fats, protein, and fiber, and you've likely set yourself up for better focus for the rest of the workday. It's a small swap with big implications.
That makes so much sense. Or, another example, instead of reaching for a sugary juice or a soda,
empty calories,
you make a conscious choice to commit to enjoying green tea instead. You've just replaced empty calories and a sugar spike with a gentle metabolic booster and potent, potentially cancer-fighting antioxidants, simply by changing your beverage choice.
These are minor shifts in routine, aren't they? But the consistency, doing it day after day, week after week, that's where the real power source lies.
The compound effect.
Precisely. The long-term effect of these minor dietary shifts is compounding. A small, positive change you made today delivers a proportionally much greater health dividend 5, 10, or even 20 years down the line because you're continually, incrementally optimizing your cellular health and your overall system function. That is the fundamental power embedded in these 10 superfoods.
It's about playing the long game with small, smart moves.
Couldn't agree more. So let me leave you, our listener, with maybe a final provocative thought to chew on, so to speak.
Okay, let's hear it.
Since we established that strategic pairing is key, we saw how foods like avocado actively support the absorption of nutrients from other foods.
Right, the synergy effect.
And given that all 10 of these foods essentially act as crucial preventative medicine in their own ways, the question becomes, how can you intentionally structure your meals to pair them strategically? How can you maximize their collective benefits?
Taking it to the next level.
Exactly. You now know the precise needs your body has and how these foods can help. Stable energy from oats, enhanced nutrient absorption via avocado fat, cognitive defense from blueberry anthocyanins, and salmon's DHA. So what happens if you consciously combine, say, oats for that beta-glucan stability with blueberries for the anthocyanin defense in the morning?
A classic combo, but now we know why it works so well.
Right. Or what if you pair spinach, rich in vitamin K, with avocado, providing the necessary fat for K absorption at lunchtime? You're actively amplifying the effects of this list by combining them intelligently.
Thinking like a nutritional strategist.
That's the idea. Consider how you can structure your daily intake, not just based on what tastes good together, but based on maximizing the synergistic biochemical effects of these powerful foods. Start thinking about it today, because that is how you turn a simple grocery list into a strategic plan for a lifetime of better health.